I'm Saina fan, and I'm also known as Saina from China. I'm really proud of my heritage, as you can tell, but also I'm hoping to, this would be easier for you to remember my name. So I'm really honored to be here today to talk about something I'm truly passionate about, the art and science of selling. It's based on one of my favorite books by Daniel Pink, To Sell as Human. Many of us here are business owners, and we've all hired our sales team in the past. So I have a question for you. When you're hiring a salesperson, who do you think that makes the best salesperson? Is that an introvert or an extrovert? Let's take a look. Adam Grant from University of Pennsylvania did a study in the past. He learned that it's neither introverts or the extroverts makes the best salespeople. It's the people right in the middle, and they're called the ambiverts. They probably have the best ability to connect with people at the same time, also listen to other people's needs. So when you hire the next salespeople, keep this in mind. And the good news is very few of us are on the either extreme. Majority of us are somewhere in the middle. Today, 1 in 9 people identify as in sales. So what happened to the other 8, you might ask? I ask you the same question. What about doctors, professors? Are they in sales? Well, let's think about the definition of sales. If I convince you or try to convince you to give up your time and your ideas and things you're doing and to do something that I want you to, or try my ideas, that is selling, isn't it? So let me ask again, are doctors in sales? What about professors? I think you know the answer. We're all in sales all the time. So when we're talking about ABC in sales in the past, it's always be closing. Many of us are very, very familiar with those terms. However, Daniel Pink has a different set of definition for ABC. A as attunement, B as buoyancy, and C, clarity. Let's take a closer look. What does he mean by that? So when we're talking about attunement, it's a perspective-taking ability. It's not empathy, let's not get it wrong, but it's a cognitive skill. So do you understand what they're thinking and what their needs might be? Now let's take a look about power. What's the relationship between power and perspective taking? Power leads people to anchor too heavily to their advantage points and become insufficiently to adjust to others' perspectives. I think we've all encountered 1 or 2 very arrogant salespeople. The moment you walk in, they already come across as they're so much better than you. They know so much. When that happens, what happened to you? You immediately get turned off and don't want to deal with him anymore or her. So one thing Daniel Pink said in his book, and I absolutely love, he said, you can increase your power by reducing it. I'm going to repeat that again. You can increase your power by reducing it. Isn't that powerful? Let's look at strategic mimicry. So think about in the past when you were having a really engaged conversation with someone, or in the future if you are in such a situation. Pause for a second. You will notice your body language is very much in sync with each other. It's human nature that when we get excited, when we're really enjoying our conversation, we automatically start to become more in sync with one another. So we can strategically speed this process up a little bit by mimic the other person. However, at the same time, please don't overdo it and don't just focus on that because it will backfire on you. Buoyancy. I actually looked up what's the meaning of buoyancy. It says here, act upward for the kind of situation encountered in everyday experience. So in Daniel Pink's book, he mentioned the last salesperson for Fuller Brush. I think many of us know Fuller Brush. His name is Norman Hall. Norman Hall describes sales as an ocean of rejection. All of us, I think, have experienced this once or twice in our lives. So when we're going after our next prospects, next clients, we get a little bit sweaty in our hands, our heart rate goes a little bit higher, and we're getting really, really nervous because we all know we're afraid of being rejected. But I want you to ask yourself, who is the biggest critic of yourself? Not those clients, not the prospect. It's you. You are the biggest critic of yourself. So every morning when you wake up, you look into the mirror. A lot of people, before they even get out of their doors, they look at themselves and going, I don't think I can do this. So I'm going to challenge you every morning when you wake up, when you see yourself first thing in the morning in that mirror, to tell yourself, I'm awesome. I can do this. So one thing we talk about interactive self-talk, before your next pitch or your next presentation, right before you go in, before you start, ask yourself, am I ready for this? Instead of just saying yes, think about all the things you've prepared for. It will prepare you for your next presentation or your pitch. Maintain a level of positivity. I love this. There is an online self-assessment. It's you can do it quickly. You can just search in Google positivity ratio test, and the ideal ratio will be between 1 to 3. I've done it. I'm not that high. So anytime when I'm feeling down, when I'm getting a little nervous, I know my positivity ratio is a little bit low, so I need to adjust that. And when people reject you, don't take that personal or persuasive or permanent. Think, I suck, I can't do this, it's me. I should never have even tried this. Instead of that, let's change our mindset and think, I did not prepare for that one little thing this time. That's why it didn't work. It's very specific and it's temporary. I've learned my lesson, so I'm going to move on. Next time, I will be better. So let's think about clarity. Are we always clear of what we do? Are we always clear when we're explaining things and our clients are clear? I'm going to challenge you on that because one of my professors when I was in university, she shared with us when she was in high school, in the middle of her class, a teacher stormed into the classroom, started yelling match, slammed the door, and left. Her teacher said, don't talk to anybody and write down what you just saw. 24 students, 24 completely different stories. So next time when you think you're very clear when you're explaining things, think about that story. And our clients, our prospects, do they really know what they want? Is it the problem is always what it seems to be? I don't think so. So instead of being the problem solver, what about become a problem finder? Let's take Apple as an example. If Steve Jobs, all he did was to try to figure out how to make a better phone where you can answer, dial someone, and send text messages, iPhone will never have existed. He found something we didn't even know we needed. Is that microcomputer does everything beyond just phone calls, everything you can think of, that phone solves it. That's why he stood out. So next time when you are out there, I want you to think about the new ABC and be curious.